In this video, we will be laying out the horizontal spacer. On this particular drawing, I have taken away several of the reference lines, specifically the ones located in the center of the part. These will have to be added in later. I'm first going to look at my original object diagram, and I need to identify the overall height and width of the object. The overall height is 4 inches, and the overall width is 6 inches. Moving back to my drawing, I can measure my reference lines and see that I am 6 inches wide by 4 inches in height. The reference lines that are on your drawing measure the same overall measurements as the original object. The difference with this drawing is I do not want to darken in these lines yet because the corners are missing off of my original part. If I darken in all of the reference lines, then I'm going to run into problems down the road trying to figure out which lines are part of my object and which lines are my reference lines. So knowing that the outside lines on my drawing measure the overall measurements on the original part, I'm going to start by identifying reference points for each of the corners. Taking a look at the lower left-hand corner, I can see that I have 2 1-inch measurements that will help me identify the starting and ending point of this line. On my drawing, I'm going to measure over 1 inch and put a reference point, and I'm going to measure up 1 inch and put a reference point. I can then connect those reference points together, and that will give me my first corner. I'm going to continue that same procedure for the other corners. And if we take a look at our drawing and compare that to our original object, we can see that we now have the outline of our object. We can go back and darken in the object lines at this point. And now we are ready to draw the square in the center of our object. Taking a look at our original drawing, we can see that the measurement for our square is 2 inches square, meaning it is 2 inches by 2 inches. And that object is centered on the entire part. So we first need to locate the center lines and create those reference lines. We know that the total width of our object is 6 inches and the total height of our object is 4 inches. So if we take half the distance and put small reference marks, this would be at 3 inches and 2 inches. I'm going to mark these on all sides of the object, and then connect those together using a light pencil line. That gives us our center point on our object. We want to create a 2-inch square that is centered on our object. Now that we have the center point located, we can take half the distance of the square and identify that on each side of each of these center reference lines. And then we can connect those reference points together with light pencil marks. And that will locate that center square. We can then go back and darken in our lines. At this point, our horizontal spacer drawing is complete.